Cleveland activists say they are growing impatient and are demanding justice following the shooting death of Tamir Rice. In a rare move, local activists filed an affidavit on Tuesday to force the arrests of officers involved. The incident took place more than 6 months ago in Cleveland when the 12-year-old was shot and killed only seconds after a white officer arrived on the scene. Rice had a plastic pellet gun tucked into the waistband of his pants at the time of the shooting. Investigators say Tamir Rice was reaching for the gun, and that's why the officers fired. So far, no charges have been filed in that incident. Congresswoman Marcia Fudge represents parts of Cleveland and Akron. She joins us now from Washington. Congresswoman, thank you for being with us. What is the latest, as you understand it, on the investigation?
The investigation has been handed to the prosecutor. That's where it stands at this point. The sheriff's office did the investigation. They turned it over to the prosecutor, and we are awaiting a decision from the prosecutor whether to indict or not.
When do you think that decision will be made?
I mean, clearly we hope it's going to be made sooner than later. We don't know when the prosecutor is going to make it. He does not have a timeline, but I have encouraged, as well as other members of the community, have encouraged him to make the decision as quickly as possible. And
some have taken the unusual step of going around the normal procedure to encourage arrests to be made. Why is that?
Well, I mean, I don't know that there is any rhyme or reason as to why a question would be raised about people wanting to follow the law. The people who you are suggesting that have gone around the system really haven't gone around the system. They are working within the system. They have used the Ohio Revised Code, a statute that is appropriate and legal in the state of Ohio, to go another path to ensure that the officers that are involved in this are treated like any other person who they believe has committed a crime. And so they are asking that the court, that the judge, issue an arrest warrant for these officers, and I think that they are within their legal prerogative to do so. I was going to say, you have to understand very, very clearly where we are in America at this point in time. Just in the last week, you see police, in my opinion, assaulting a teenager in a bikini coming from a pool party. In California, you see 3 police officers who are holding down a man while another police officer beats him with his nightstick. I mean, we are at a point in this country where there is so little confidence from poor and minority people in the judicial system that any path we can take to ensure that justice is served, people are willing to take. And I don't think that there's anything extraordinary about that we are doing everything we can to protect our communities and demand justice.
The police department in Cleveland, as you know, has entered into this agreement with the Department of Justice to change the way things are done. Have you gotten the sense that anything has gotten better?
Well, I mean, I think that it was just signed about a week and a half ago, so I don't know that there's been any significant change in that shorter period of time. But I think what has changed is the fact that our police department, our city, realizes that they must change, that they have come to an agreement, which I know was not easy on the part of the city or the police department. It is wide-ranging. It addresses almost every issue our community has raised. So what has changed is the fact that they know there's no longer going to be business as usual. And I think that is a major change.
What do you believe should happen to these officers?
Well, I believe the officers should be arrested, tried, and then let the judicial system work its way. Certainly, they should be treated as every other person has been treated that has killed someone who was no threat to them.
What do you think they should be charged with?
Well, it depends, but there are a number of things they could be charged with. I mean, certainly they could be charged with murder, they could be charged with involuntary manslaughter, they could be charged with a number of things. I think that all of the facts that come from the prosecutor's office and from the investigation will determine what the charge should be. I mean, that clearly isn't up to me to determine what it should be, but I think the evidence should suggest what the charge would be.
All right, Congresswoman Fudge, thank you so much for your time.